about the broader kind of political landscape that we're in our country in particular, but again, also in Great Britain and elsewhere in Europe, where we also see just political polarization increasing. And sometimes we can kind of say, we live in the most polarized times in the history of the world, or in the history of our country.
No.
And yeah, how would he respond to something like that? What perspective could he bring to that?
He would say, are you in the middle of a civil war? Because you're not. And he was. I mean, he literally was living in a time of civil war. And he went to war with Oliver Cromwell, the great general. He saw the battlefield. He was there with Cromwell when he fought the Scots and the Irish, trying to bring the Celtic fringe to heel. He was there, and he knew people in the army. His brother was in the army. He was used to a time of turmoil and polarization and instability. In the 1660s, when he's on the outside and not in power, he was watched by the authorities. They came to his church to listen to his sermons. At one point, he was caught in the street by informers and only just managed to escape. The authorities, the FBI of the day, raided his house at one point, and they didn't find lots of secret documents that he shouldn't have had and classified things he should have given back. No, they found that he had 6 boxes of pistols. 6 boxes of pistols.
Oh, wow.
Because clearly he felt that this is such an unstable time. I need to keep hold of a bit of a personal private arsenal. Now, I know that if you live in Texas, 6 boxes of pistols is paltry and not really very much.
Yeah. They're all
but for
cheering
most
right
people, for most people, that's quite a lot. And it just shows as a little vignette there that he's living in very unstable times.
Huh.
He could well have lost his head or been burned at the stake or something in his day. And we don't tend to do that nowadays, except on Twitter.
Do we know what he was planning to do with all those guns? Like, was there any indication? Was he was he part of some uprising, or was it all just personal security or something?
There have been suggestions that he was involved in certain plots throughout that period after the restoration of the monarchy. I think, he's very close to some people in the army, some former commanders in the Republic Army, and so he may have just been, looking after the guns for a friend, as they say.
Super suspicious.
We look back and we can see that the restoration of the monarchy did take. It held, but he didn't know that. You don't know in the middle of the 1660s whether military defeat at the hands of the Dutch, the comets that are in the sky, the Great Fire, the plague, all these may have been portents of great upheaval and the shaking of the nations that he thought was still happening, and we may get another civil war. So he didn't know that. So it's personal insurance in that sense, but also, his close ties to parts of the military, the Cromwellian military, probably account for the fact that he had a little stash, a cache of weapons,
Yeah.
just in case.